Hey, everyone! Welcome back to the SOXL Challenge channel. I'm thrilled to have you here for our January 2025 update. It's the evening of January 31st, 2025, and we've got plenty to cover today. SOXL is currently priced around $27, slightly down from last month's $28. Over the past few weeks, SOXL has fluctuated significantly between $23 and $36. After hitting a low of $26 on January 13, 2025, SOXL climbed for 7 consecutive days, reaching $36. At that point, it seemed unlikely that SOXL would drop below $30 anytime soon. However, just 3 trading days later, on January 27, 2025, SOXL plunged to $23 following reports of a potential threat from China's low-cost DeepSeek artificial intelligence tool. Since then, SOXL has rebounded to $29. As we previously discussed, SOXL has a strong support level around $25, which is also reflected in technical charts from Finviz. Some might wonder why I didn't sell when SOXL hit $36 on January 22, 2025 in my Roth IRA account. If I had sold at $36, I could have secured a 30% return without paying any taxes. Going forward, I may sell more frequently in my Roth IRA account whenever I reach at least a 30% return, as capital gains taxes don't apply to Roth IRA transactions. However, in my non-IRA account, my plan remains to sell only when SOXL reaches at least $60. Let's take a quick look at key market events since our last video. On January 27, 2025, Nvidia experienced a record-breaking market cap loss of nearly $600 billion after its stock plunged by 17%. This was driven by concerns over competition from DeepSeek, a Chinese AI lab that unveiled a new, cost-effective AI model. The sell-off spread across the tech sector, affecting companies like Dell, Oracle, and Supermicro Computer. Nvidia's loss marked the largest single-day market cap drop in U.S. history. However, today's outlook is more optimistic. DeepSeek's innovative AI models have highlighted the growing demand for AI chips, which is actually good news for Nvidia's long-term prospects. Despite initial concerns, the need for powerful hardware to support AI advancements has led to a surge in pre-purchases of Nvidia's H200 GPUs. This reinforces the critical role of AI infrastructure and Nvidia's strong positioning in the market. Another article published today reports that the U.S. stock market remains resilient despite initial fears surrounding DeepSeek AI's impact. While competition concerns persist, strong earnings from Apple, Tesla, and Microsoft have helped offset some of the negative sentiment. Investors remain cautiously optimistic, balancing the disruptive potential of new AI technologies with the continued strength of major tech companies. Since last month's update, I have accumulated more SOXL shares in my Roth IRA while maintaining my strategy of buying below my average cost of $28.10. With this month's purchases, I successfully reduced my average cost from $28.10 to $27.72. Here are my recent SOXL purchases. For shares at $27.01, limit order placed on December 30, 2024, filled on December 31, 2024. 6 shares at $26.51, limit order placed on December 30, 2024, filled on January 13, 2025. For shares at $26.01, limit order placed on January 27, 2025, filled on December 31, 2024. 1 share at $24.01, limit order placed on January 12, 2025, filled on January 25, 2025. 10 shares at $25.01, limit order placed on January 27, 2025, filled on January 27, 2025. 10 shares at $25.51, limit order placed on January 27, 2025, filled on January 27, 2025. 9 shares at $26.45, limit order placed on January 27, 2025, filled on January 27, 2025. In total, I've added 44 shares of SOXL since the last update. With these additions, my total Roth IRA holdings have grown from 216 shares to 260 shares. I've also placed several additional limit buy orders on January 30th, 2025 when new funds became available. On that day, SOXL was trading between $26 and $27, so I placed limit buy orders for 10 shares at $25.01. 11 shares at $24.01. These orders haven't been filled yet, but I expect them to execute in the coming months if the price dips further. So far, I've maxed out my $7,000 contribution for the 2024 tax year in my Roth IRA. For 2025, I plan to contribute another $7,000 and continue implementing my strategy. Currently, my SOXL holdings in the Roth IRA are valued at $7,000, with a total return of -3% and an approximate loss of $200. In my individual account, I still hold 279 shares of SOXL, valued at around $7,500. Combining both accounts, my total SOXL holdings have increased from 495 shares to 539 shares, with a combined market value of approximately $14,500. As mentioned earlier, I may start selling some SOXL shares in my Roth IRA once I achieve at least a 30% return, given the tax-free advantage. However, I have not sold any shares yet. In my individual account, my strategy remains to hold SOXL until it surpasses $60 before selling and consolidating all future SOXL investments within my Roth IRA for better tax efficiency. The SOXL surge strategy continues to guide my approach. By investing approximately $7,000 annually into a Roth IRA, I maximize tax efficiency while executing a swing trading strategy. This strategy focuses on buying SOXL at lower prices and selling at higher levels, utilizing technical indicators like moving averages and RSI. Additionally, avoiding margin trading keeps risk in check. The goal isn't to perfectly time the market but to capitalize on SOXL's natural price volatility for substantial gains. The semiconductor sector remains a critical driver of tech growth. With the ongoing expansion of AI, cloud computing, and 5G technologies, the long-term outlook for SOXL remains strong. Despite short-term fluctuations, these trends provide a solid foundation for continued growth. Historically, SOXL has shown resilience, rebounding dramatically in bullish cycles. The $25 support level further reinforces confidence in accumulating shares at attractive price points. That wraps up our January 2025 update. While the journey with SOXL has its ups and downs, I remain optimistic about the future. This strategy demands patience, discipline, and a long-term perspective, and I'm fully committed to seeing it through. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you found this update helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. Happy investing! See you next month.